Good morning, everyone. So, today we'll discuss the remaining concepts under the fifth chapter, that is the balance scorecard and benchmarking. So, we have already discussed all about the balance scorecard. So, the remaining contents are all about benchmarking. So, we'll complete today the theory concepts of strategic cost management finally. Then from tomorrow onwards I'll upload videos on the practical problems. So let's discuss this. So the first one is we should understand what is this benchmarking. So first is, what is this benchmark? Benchmark means standards, fixing certain targets, we can say targets or certain standards, and we will be trying to meet those targets or standards. So here benchmarking is the continuous systematic process of measuring one's output or work against the strongest competitor in the industry. So here the business organization, in order to achieve the highest market share and to be superior in the market, they will compare their business processes, their business products and the strategies with each other. So here which one the highest or the best, which company is recorded as the best in the industry. So ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಂಪನಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಕಂಪನಿದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ, ಆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜೀಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ವಿಲ್ compare the activities with this number 1 company in the industry. So that is benchmark. So they will fix certain targets to achieve the position of this number 1 company, to replace this company with their own company, to be number 1 in the market instead of this company. They will try their best to reach this number 1 position, that is benchmarking. So here they are comparing their output or work to the strongest competitors which are recognized in the industry. So best or strongest competitor ಯಾರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪನಿ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ, ಆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ, how can we reach this position, what are the steps we should do. So everything they will compare. So this can also be done all over the world. So we can also compare domestic companies to the domestic company. One domestic company can also compare with one of the MNCs. So irrespective of the border, comparison can be done. So anywhere in the world, the best leaders, with them we can compare our company, which will help us to improve the performance better. So benchmarking is just comparing our company with the strongest and the best company in the industry or around the world. Next, how this benchmarking came into existence. So first of all, this benchmarking was introduced by Japanese. So Japan, they were very curious about bringing new things. So they introduced this benchmarking. So first, which type of benchmarking came into first? So first of all, let's look this image. So they have given around 5 generations. So 5 generation. First generation, when the benchmarking was introduced by Japan, so they used the term called as reverse engineering. So here reverse engineering means, So whatever the process we are using for manufacturing of our products, so here some machines will be used, right? So for manufacturing the goods we will use some machines. So that machine evaluation of technical product analysis, so ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಷಿನ್ಸ್ನ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮೆಷಿನ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮೆಷಿನ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ದಿ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ goods. So technical features of the product, technicality of the product will be analyzed. That is called as reverse engineering. Next is competitive benchmarking. So we know competitive advantage. So same here, competitive benchmarking. So competitive benchmarking, here it was technicality, but this is something about market oriented. So marketing, about customers, being a best in the market, being the best in the eyes of the customers, having a good advantage, being a competitive advantage which doesn't have by another competitors. So evaluating the capabilities relating to the product offering. So here ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಏನೇನು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇದೆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜನ್ರೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದೇ ಕೇಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್, ಲೈಕ್ ದೇ ವರ್ ವೆರಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಷಿನ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಕಂಪನಿ, ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೊ they used to compare that. Next they used to compare the products between two companies. Next is the process benchmarking. Third generation is process benchmarking. So process benchmarking is using specific key processes, so with the help of best practice in the organization. So ali process benchmarking, illi they in the first step, reverse engineering, they only focused on technical aspects, but in the third generation they were focusing on all the key steps in the process of manufacturing the goods. So they used to compare the whole process of manufacturing. Next is the next came the strategic benchmarking. So strategy, we know strategy means the long term objectives of the business. So strategic benchmarking, so first ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜನ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ಮೆಷಿನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಜನ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋ ಬದಲು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದಿ ವಿಷನ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್, ಗೋಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಕಂಪನಿ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಅವ್ರು ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಕಂಪನಿ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯಾವ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯಾವ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರು ಈ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಜನ್ರೇಷನ್. ದೇ ವರ್ ವೆರಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್, ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ದೇರ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟು implement those strategies in their own company. And the next is the future benchmarking, that is the 5th generation global benchmarking. So I said benchmarking can also be done within the country and irrespective of the borders also. So global benchmarking means they will make a difference around the culture, around the strategy, international culture. So one country nalli culture hegide, in one country nalli culture hegide, so with respect to the culture, what are the products they are manufacturing, so with the respect of the culture in this country, what are the products manufactured, what are the business processes, how the business processes is differ from countries culture wise, how the products are differed, what are the trade practices, what are the trade rules and regulations one country has. So they will compare their company's culture, process and trade practices irrespective of the boundary, that is all over the world, global wise. They will compare the companies, processes, trade practices, and the culture. So this is the evolution of benchmarking. So benchmarking has five generation. One is reverse, competitive, process, strategic, and global. Next is types of benchmarking. So this concept is connected with the evolution of benchmarking. So there we studied strategic benchmarking, competitive benchmarking, process benchmarking. So strategic benchmarking means using and comparing the strategies of the competitor, their aims, objectives, etc. Competitive means analyzing the company's product offering in, and it is market oriented. Process means analyzing the whole process, whole key steps. Next one new type is here internal benchmarking. So we are not only comparing one company to another company outside, that is external benchmarking. We are also comparing within the organization, that is between the departments. So in one company there will be different departments, right? So here departments can also set benchmarks to compare with each other. So that is called as internal benchmarking within the organization. So types strategic, competitive, process, and external. Next is process of benchmarking. So how this benchmarking is implemented. So first and foremost we have to select, sorry there are some spelling mistakes. So we have to select which company, sorry, we have to select the subject of benchmarking. So for example, if one company X company want to be superior in the market, and this company, the best company in the industry is Z company. So for comparing something we need some subject, right? So here for example this X company will take company's products, they will take company's products. So subject is comparison of the product with X company to the Z company. So first of all we have to analyze what is the problem or what is the subject we want to compare. So here you can compare the technology also, you can compare your product also, you can compare your process also, you can compare your strategies also, you can compare the culture also. So here whatever the aspect you want to compare, first you have to decide it, you have to select it. Next is decide which organization you want to benchmark. So industrially best companies, in that best companies which with which company you want to compare. So ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಮೋರ್ ಸುಪೀರಿಯರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಕಂಪನಿ you want to compare, that you have to choose here. Next is document the current process. So your company's current details you should gather. So collect all the details relating to your company's current process, about products, about strategies, everything. Next, collect and analyze data. Here after this third step you will be going to collect data regarding the organization which you have choose to be benchmark. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ fourth step ನಲ್ಲಿ every document relating to your competitor ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Next, they will measure the performance against the data collected. So first in the third step we had data about our own company. Next we collected data about the competitor. Next step is we will compare this data and we will get to know what is the difference between this two one. So next we will create one plan, we will map the plan, we will we will identify the difference, and we will plan which what we want to achieve. So that is creating the plan. So in this create after creating the plan, so one pilot survey will be done. So after implementing the plan on some smaller geographical area, that is pilot study, whatever the changes we may think which should be done, we will implement those changes. Those changes, and we'll try again and implement the uh, benchmarking, whatever the standards we have fixed here. And if we are not successful in this step also, we can repeat the process from the beginning. So this is the process of benchmarking. The last topic in the benchmarking is studying about the impacts of Indian companies after using the benchmark. So if our Indian companies are using benchmark, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಬೆಂಚ್ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಏನು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಏನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್, ಏನು ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ see this image. So this is a graph here. X is the performance and y is the performance and x is the time. So here, so this is the Indian company, this is our own performance, and this is the benchmark company. So this is the benchmark or the target we have to reach. So this is the gap, we need to achieve, we need to fill this gap. So here what happens means, Indian companies, they are more focused on strategic benchmarking. So Indian companies, they don't want to implement the reverse engineering or the competitive engineering or the process engineering. They directly want to shift to the strategic, that is they want to look into the strategies of the competitor, what strategies they are using to achieve that position in the market. So for that purpose they are struck between the counterparts, that is with the Indian firms and the foreign counterparts. As India is still a developing country, if we compare the companies located in the developing country and the companies located in the developed country, what will be the result, right? So the result will not be acceptable. We should compare things only when we are the same. If we are not the same, how can we compare? So comparison can be done at the same level. So this is the one of the drawback. So next is this company, mostly they want to compare with the global leader or the close competitor. So the same thing is repeating, they want to compare with the developed countries. So ultimately the result is on the final consumer only. So if the Indian companies use the strategies of the developed company, it will be critical, as the India is still a developing country. The most of the people are poor, the most of the people are from middle class. So if they implement these strategies, if they use that much advanced technology, the prices of the goods will be high. So this is the most critical. So they will hike the prices, which will be the burden on final consumer. This is what happening in the impacts of the benchmarks in Indian companies. So now let's look this graph, what is going. So this is our Indian company and this is the benchmark of that foreign company. So this is the gap they want to achieve. So whatever today is their performance in 10 minutes, So today's their performance, and to reach this, to fill this gap, the short term goals fixed by the Indian company. So short term goal, to reach the parity goal. Parity goal means same goal. So whatever the same position this foreign company has, the Indian company want to have the same goals, that is called as parity goals. So ultimately, after reaching this parity goal, they are planning to reach the leadership goal, means they want to be the leader. The Indian company want to be the superior in the market, leaving back this foreign company. So here they are unable to fill this gap. So this gap filling this gap is much difficult, because we cannot meet with the standards of the foreign company. Comparison can only be done, I am repeating again, can be done only with when we have the similar characteristics, when we have the similar culture, when we have the similar type of population. So here the Indian companies are more facing the problems, they are more critical for filling this gap. They will plan everything, but while implementing and filling this gap is more critical. So even they fill this gap, the burden will be on the final consumer. So this is all about the theory contents. So we have successfully completed the theory contents of all the fifth chapter in the strategic cost management. From tomorrow onwards, I'll upload the problems. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comments below or in your WhatsApp group. Thank you.